Here's an update video just for you. I don't even know where to start. In some of my previous videos, I think I had a whole plan. We had a plan of actually mixing up Adobe and stucco and then wiping it up there and clearing and making it normal looking. That's a lot of work. In the end, we decided as together to just do sheetrock and just bolt that shit into the Adobe walls and just hide it. Now it might sound like a ghetto or a cheaper way to go about it, but you don't understand. Like, working on a house like this is super frustrating, and that's what we went with. It's actually not. It's probably the simplest, cost-effective, smartest way to do it when you think about it. So anyways, these are full sheets of sheetrock. Not the Artec. Forget about the Artec. This is a sheetrock I'm talking about. Sheetrock. And we just drilled into the walls there. And you had to have long screws so they could grab the wall. Because you don't know what you're grabbing. Sometimes you're screwing in and you hit a rock. Because that's how they built these walls, was with just dirt outside and rocks. So if you hit a rock, you got to pull it out and like go somewhere else until it grabs and grips. Anyways, now you were talking about the double insulation, which was going to be the Artec. So the double insulation I think you were referring to was the R19, which is up there. So all of this has R19 insulation. And then remember, I was saying we're going to double it up with also the Artec. But as it turned out, the more we realized, once we got the R19 up there, it was really warm in this room. It was warm enough that we really didn't need to do the Artec, right? We didn't have to worry about that because it kept heat in here. So we got the R19 up there. And then we got the Artec that we don't need. So we just have a bunch of this Artec left over. The Artec is actually cheaper than actual... if you do your research, Artec doesn't insulate as well as that stuff, which is fiberglass. Your Pink Panther, your whatever. It's fiberglass insulation. You got to wear a mask and stuff. Anyways, all right, so let's go. Getting past. Here's the room. You might be wondering, what is up with this blue? Well, it just was one that was laying around. It's blue because it's anti-mold, anti-moisture. It was laying around from a previous, so we used a previous thing we were doing in the kitchen. So we just decided to go ahead and use that. But if you remember, and if you look back to some of the other videos, yeah, you'll see that there's chicken wire up here. Over here was chicken wire. Look, there's the chicken wire. But over here was just, it was real raw. Just raw Adobe wall. I don't know what else to call it. And then up here was also raw. It was just crazy. And remember the big beam? The big giant beam started right there and went across and landed over here. And then we came in with the Amish and we put up these. And then you can look up here now. And so there's the R19 insulation, then drywall. And we've already kind of textured it. Remember, we textured with this thing. And so if you look in this living room area, this is the last sheet. We're almost down to the last sheet of drywall. Cut out the window. It's frustrating and complicated. And it's complicated. You might think, everybody might think, oh, I could do that. It's so easy. But the walls aren't straight. So you can see the walls aren't straight. None of the walls are straight. So that's one corner. Look at this corner. The walls aren't straight, so we got to patch that up somehow. You know, we got to cut these little pieces to patch up the unstraight walls. Let's look at this corner. So that's two corners. So this corner wasn't so bad. There's a lot of, it's frustrating. And then to make matters worse is the electrical is exposed, right? The electrical. So trying to figure that out is another problematic situation. And the only good thing about that is that at least